Today we are continuing our training on understanding land titles. Why are we devoting so much time on this land title of a thing? It's because, as I said in our lecture last week, land title is about the most important document when you want to acquire property anywhere in the world. If you get the title wrong, you get everything wrong. And you guys know that there are properties that run into billions of dollars. One property, you can buy a acre of land that will run into billions of dollars. So if the title is wrong, everything you have done is wrong. And the owner of the land, as I said last week, owns everything, owns the land itself, everything on the land, and everything beneath. So, for example, if you buy a parcel of land and you discover gold inside, by right, the gold belongs to you, but government will come and discuss with you and say, okay, this is a government asset. They will compensate you and take the land and mine the gold because of what they call exclusive list in case of Nigerian government. So land title is very, very important, and that's why we continue to study it until we understand it very well. Next slide. So today we are going to look into land title in states. As I said last week, all the land belongs to states for case of states, and in FCT it belongs to the Federal Capital Territory. So we are going to look at how do states own land and how do they manage it. What are the titles lands in states have? So it is important to know that since land belongs to the state and is in custody of the state governors, there may be slight differences in land titles of various states, but most of them are similar. What we are basically trying to say here is that state governors, they have their own way of issuing land title. What is obtainable in Ogun State, for example, may be different from what is obtainable in Enugu. For example, some states can allow a state chairman to sign RFO. Some states, everything has to come from the governor. And from time to time, the legislators, when they see a potential problem or just for improvement, they can pass an act that empower certain people to do certain things. So what I'm trying to say is that it is not exactly what you get in one state that you get from another state. Is that clear? Okay. So I believe we all are aware. I just put this to refresh our mind. I just put this to refresh our mind on how the size of map of Nigeria, and you see the 6 geopolitical zones. So you have the 36 states and the FCT in the middle. Next slide. Okay. Land title state. Land estates are held and managed by state governors. They have departments that manage land. For example, Ministry of Lands. Some states have developed digitalized platform to manage lands, like the Abuja Geographic Information System (AGIS). A good example is Nasarawa State that share boundary with FCT. They have Nasarawa State Geographic Information System. It is a platform where all the land in the state are managed. It's digitalized platform, and that is many states are now adopting it. So that you want to inquire about any land, you just apply officially. The information in the system is computerized. They will print the official report and give you. It helps in a lot of ways to avoid fraudulent practices. Some states are adopting it, and Nasarawa State is a very good example, maybe because of their closeness to FCT. The next one. So the following are the titles common in the state. Right of occupancy. Just like we discussed last week, states also have what they call right of occupancy. So first letter issued to a landowner by state government contain all the terms and conditions on which the land is assigned to an individual must be signed by state governor or somebody authorized by him or her. It empowers the holder to design, get approval from fiscal planning unit or development control, transferable to others through sale, provided necessary procedures are followed. Has limited rights compared to C of O. So what we are trying to say here is that in states, you also have R of O. Some states, local government can issue you R of O. In some states, as I said before, everything comes from the head, that's the governor's office. So it depends on the state you are operating. But the important thing is, even for not only for our own consumption here, some of you have parents that have land in states. Try to educate them, let them know what are the rules, you understand, so that they know the paper they are holding in hand, what does it mean to them. So we should not limit our study. We should, whatever we are learning here, we should apply it outside our organization environment, so that if you are talking to your parents or your relation about land title, they will appreciate what the organization you are working and the knowledge you have acquired. Certificate of occupancy, just like FCT here, everywhere, almost all the states, the certificate of occupancy is for a tenure of 99 years. It's a certificate that grants the holder rights to a land for a period of 99 years. In other words, government is lending you the land for a period of 99 years. It normally follows R of O, renewable with a fee after 99 years. This point is very, very important. C of O is not perpetual. They are just giving you for 99 years. You don't need to underrate the power of tenure of C of O. You could have a land that is 100 hectares. By the time you bought it, it was remaining maybe from the time they issued the C of O, it is 50 years have gone. So it means you just have 49 years on the land, after which they say is renewable with a fee. That means if you want to renew it, you have to pay for the whole money for the C of O again. So it is renewable and it comes with a fee, and they count the years from the date it was issued. Is that understood? So when even somebody is telling you I have a C of O, it's good and fine, but you need to check the date. It will help you. It's not that if it has been issued a long time that is a bad product, but it means that it will help you in negotiating. You have in mind that in the next 50 years, you are going to pay another money for the whole land again. Is that understood? Okay. So it's also transferable through sale, provided procedures are followed, and it has limited, sorry, this one is not limited. Okay. Mostly signed by state governor or anybody authorized by him or her, mostly acceptable by banks, financial institutions for facilities. Though the most important document, there have been instances where it was rendered invalid. Example, Lagos State Magodo land saga. So what we are trying to say here, those of you who attended the training on Saturday, I think you heard Dr. Steven saying that C of O is in some cases have even turned out to be a scam. Government have used it to scam people. Why are they saying that? Because land belongs to, they give you a document, they say, okay, this land is for 99 years. Sometimes government can still do whatever they want to do with the land. What happened in the Magodo land case in Lagos is that government took family land, you understand, and now sold it to individual, issued them C of O. Then years later, the owners of those land went and sued government to court that you cannot take our land and sell it to individual. If government is acquiring land, it should use it for something in public interest. You understand? That's if they are taking your land without compensation. Government, of course, can say, okay, we want this land. They discuss with the original owners of the land, pay them compensation and take the land. But in this case, Lagos State government took the land. They did not pay the indigenous people, they didn't pay them, and they sold the land and issued C of O. State government on oath issued C of O to people. So years later, the original owners of the land went and sued government and said, look, you can't do this. If you have taken our land and built school, build road, we understand that it's for public infrastructure. But you can't take our ancestral land, issue C of O to people and sell them and make big money. They followed the case up to Supreme Court, and the indigenous people who own the land naturally, they won the case, and that rendered the C of O useless. So it's not entirely 100% foolproof. You could have C of O and still some issue come up. We also are aware of situations where people houses are being demolished, they have C of O and they still demolish it. Sometimes it could also be some mistake from government and their agencies. You understand? Okay, sometimes also some C of O were obtained fraudulently. So it's not, there are so many things to check. That's what we are just saying. Don't say this land has C of O, you can do anything. Things can change. Is that understood? Okay. Then the other one is governor's consent. I hope we have all been hearing something like governor's consent. Yes. So it's very, very common, most especially in the states. This governor's consent means that is a permission granted by a state governor, is mandatory before transferring ownership of land with C of O, ensures proper procedures are followed, and guides against fraudulent transactions. What it means is this: if you buy a land that have C of O, you have to go to Ministry of Land to register it. When you register it, they will sign a document by the state governor saying that I am aware that the ownership of this land has been transferred from Lefisat to Blessing. It's also a title document. Do you understand me? Yes. And let us understand that none of these, in most cases, none of this land title can stand on its own. It's normally in combination with other documents. For example, if they are giving you governor's consent, it means they are giving you governor's consent on a land that already have C of O issued by government. So you still need to put the two documents together. Is that understood? Yes. Okay. Registered court judgment. Maybe if you are conversant with all these online property platforms, you see all these WhatsApp groups, especially where Lagos people are, you see a lot, you see this kind of thing very often, that the title the land has is registered court judgment. So a court judgment awarding ownership of a land after legal dispute or claim regarding possession of a particular land. The judgment must have been registered in court, must be a judgment that the other party cannot appeal, mostly Supreme Court judgment. So if, for example, the case was judged in Court of Appeal, he cannot, the other party still have the right to appeal the judgment. So if somebody is throwing that kind of document to you, it's not valid. You understand me? Because the other party can say, okay, we did not agree with this judgment, so it's better let it be a case that has been decided at the Supreme Court. And one thing you also understand is this is also very, very common in land issues. Even though court have given a judgment and the other party is still in possession of the land, yes, it will take you a lot of effort to enforce the judgment, and this is more difficult when it comes to ancestral land. You understand? Imagine like somebody who is a king or a high chief in a place. There was a land dispute and government say, okay, based on the court said, okay, this land belongs to so and so person. It may be, it's correct o, but if the people are still occupying the land, it will be an uphill task for you to remove them. Even in ordinary land you are buying here, to remove people from where they are staying is not always easy. I think I once mentioned this, that our PW house, it took us almost a year to evacuate the people that are there. So these are things you need to check very well. The fact that the document is okay, it has a court judgment, look at the implication of trying to remove the people who are already occupying the land. Letter of allocation, just as we have discussed before. That is what happened in a Magodo case. Government acquire a land, you understand. Let's say government is building a housing estate, so they can acquire a land, process it, cover the plots, and give you letter of allocation. It's just like the one we have in Guaripa. States also do it. Many states have their own a housing authority. Like if you go to my state, the Enugu State Housing Corporation, that's what they call them. They have estates. They can sell land to you, they can sell house to you. In that case, they will give you letter of allocation. Later, they can still process the C of O. So you see that what I'm saying, that none of these documents actually work alone. In most cases, they have to be combined with other documents. Excision and gazette. A document issued by government when it releases part of a large expanse of land it acquired from an individual or community back to the original landowner. What we are trying to say is this: if government come to a place, let's say they want to build an industry, they want to build an airport, the land is very, very big. Government take the whole land, but they say their original inhabitants of that land, we want to settle them in a particular place still on that land. Do you understand me? So they will carve out a portion of land and say this place is for the indigenes. So is the best, when it comes to state, is the best form of land you can have. One, it does not have tenure like CFO. It's forever. Do you understand me? So government have given you that land, is forever. Nobody is coming. So if it comes to state, it's just the best type of land. It has no tenure like CFO. Best type of land to buy in state is irrevocable. Nobody will come and revoke a cession land. It's not possible. Gazette is an official publication by government confirming its release of a portion of the land it previously acquired. If government decide to give you part of that land, they will do a publication in maybe the dailies. It should be made public that this land, we are giving part of this land to these people. So there cannot be gazette without decision. So if somebody is presenting document to you, say I have gazette, where is the decision? He begin to tell you, say they are still processing, is no document. Do you understand me? So there cannot be gazette without decision. They work together. Okay, other points to use, other points to note: land use charge. Just like the FCT, states have various charges that landowners have to pay. This varies from state to state. In Lagos, there is the Lagos land use charge, which derives its legitimacy from the Lagos State Land Use Charge Law 2022. You see what I told you? Sorry, 2020. You see what I'm telling you, that it varies from state. So in 2020, they looked at all the problems they are having and they decided to pass a law, you understand, that bonify so many things. So in fact, in some cases, this kind of law can even render an existing document invalid. It means the owner have to follow certain process to update the papers and make it more valid in line with the current law. So it is advisable that landowners are conversant with the laws governing land ownership in the various states, so as to avoid contravention that can lead to revocation State governments also can revoke land if you contravene the laws that grant you ownership of that land. You understand me? For example, they gave you a land. This land is supposed to be for shopping mall. You go and be building residential house. Government can also revoke it. So there are many things involved, but the important thing is, one, be knowledgeable and keep yourself abreast of the latest information guiding ownership where you are residing, and make sure that you follow it. If there's a process, if they say, okay, of recent, FHA here, they say they want to do revalidation of all the documents. I think some of you must have had it on radio. They made it public. Within 7 days, bring all your papers, you have to revalidate. If you didn't go with your own papers, the land becomes irrelevant. It could be allocated, even if you have built house on it, it could be allocated to somebody else. And that is why they made it public. Once government announce something on radio and television or newspaper, if you are coming now and say, I did not hear, I'm not aware, you are just on your own. You understand me? So if you have a property anywhere, as I said before, your relation have, please use this forum, this kind of what you are learning here, to guide them, to help them. It will be of great benefit to them. Next slide. I think that's the end.